Mute.
Welcome, Soden Bowlers, to the 2020 SBL Rookie Draft. I am your host, Alpha Hill 7, and with me today, we have the owner, the master himself, Soden. What's going on, brother?
The owner I am. What's up, Brian?
I didn't know we were talking to Yoda there, owner I am. Anyway, we also have our draft guru expert. I'm excited about this one. Big Al. Big Al, what's going on?
Much, buddy. How you guys doing? I am so pumped.
I am pumped too, and I'm telling you right now, man, these Sodenholics better have eaten their vitamins, saying their prayers, because we're gonna have a fantastic rookie draft show tonight. And even Enzo is excited in the background of Soden. That's how awesome this is gonna be.
Yeah, we have a live draft watcher here. He's 9 months old right now, and he's getting his first draft experience. So those of you guys, if you're looking for someone to pick, make sure you check with Enzo.
Enzo is like our Todd McShay, really young, and Mel Kiper is like our Big Al, who's really old, right? Right, Big Al?
That's right.
I mean, yeah. But don't forget that kid might be your boss someday in the Soden Bowl League. So keep that in mind, people.
Absolutely. So you guys heard it here first. Enzo's going to go back to YouTube in about 14 years and look back on this and say, man, I was in diapers when this was going down. So anyway, so you guys excited as I am? I mean, this is like our Super Bowl because we never make the Super Bowl. So this is going to be like our big time to be able to do this.
This is why I don't make the
shine. Yeah, so before we get the draft, we've got about 12 minutes until the draft goes live here. I wanted to take a look at the past Super Bowl winner here this last season.
All right.
So let's get that. Go ahead and get that guy up there. I want to go ahead and congratulate T. Hoyt 51 on a Super Bowl win with the Oakland Raiders. He took a team that was a low 70s overall, won the Super Bowl. And, yeah, it was a low-scoring Super Bowl. The final ended up being 12-6 in overtime. It actually looked like the Packers, coached by Kilo Ren, XOXO.
There it is.
Kisses and hugs.
He looked like he was actually going to pull away with the win there. He lined up for a field goal and missed it. And then the rest was history as, T. Hoyt just did what he does best, and that's close games out and win. And congratulations. Derek Carr got a Super Bowl MVP. He had a good game. He was getting sacked. That was just a defensive game. If you guys have a chance and you haven't seen that Super Bowl, if you go to our YouTube channel, which you're probably on right now, if you look in the past history there on the video selection, you'll see Super Bowl 93. And it was an outstanding game. I mean, what'd you think about that, Al? What'd you think about that game?
Oh man, that was a great game. It was. I mean, I got to see it on the sideline, so I couldn't believe it was a defensive battle, like you said. So the defense wins championships, I guess, and it was probably one of the best I've seen.
Yeah, and again, congratulations to the Packers too. Kilo Ren, he played an outstanding game. By all rights, he probably should have won that game. So just an outstanding job by the Packers. And if you guys haven't had a chance to play him yet, that was his rookie season, and he only got about 6 or 7 games in. He did a fantastic job. He's gonna be a really good owner for a long time to come, and he has a pretty solid Packers team here. So I'm interested to see what he does this season, and especially in the draft.
Oh yeah,
could be exciting.
Yeah, he's a good owner, and I believe that he's going to be able to do well with this team. I mean, taking a team, I don't know, partway through the season and being able to adapt to their offense and defense and just take it to the Super Bowl. And in all honesty, I thought the NFC I'm in the AFC, but I think the NFC is stronger. Now, that the tides have kind of turned with T. Hoyt joining the AFC, but I thought the NFC was a tougher gauntlet to get through. So props definitely to Kylo Ren, hugs and kisses.
Yeah, and he's drafting at spot number 31 here on the board, and then he made a trade. And jumped up and grabbed. This one hasn't hit the books yet, but this is just in. The Packers have traded a 2021 7th round pick and a 2020 2nd round pick. That's this draft, and Levante David to the Minnesota Vikings for a 2021 7th and the 9th overall pick in the draft tonight. So the Packers draft twice in the first round here. That's a huge trade.
That makes me puke when guys draft
Real.
or trade. Well, it makes me puke when they trade within their own division.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Talked to Mr. Witness. He hit me up. He forgot we were in the same divisions, and we were like, nope, not gonna happen.
I love it, Al. You're old school like me, dude. I would never trade within my division. So. Well, let's talk about trades, guys. Since we're on that subject, let's pull up the trade graphic. Let's take a look at some of the big trades that's actually going to affect tonight's draft. Why don't you break it off?
So the big one to me is the Indianapolis Colts. They lost Andrew Luck about a halfway through the season. Yeah, you tell them, Enzo. They lost Andrew Luck about halfway through the season. They had Jacoby Brissett in. They barely made the playoffs. So then coming into this season, they needed to get into that first round a little bit more. So they actually dealt Andrew Luck to the Chicago Bears. Now, we watched the Bears on primetime with Return of the Mac in that defense. Now they get Andrew Luck. They give up the number 19 pick in the first round, but they acquire Andrew Luck. To me, I think that is the biggest trade of this first round in the SBSL.
Yeah, you're right. It has to be. And I think partly, he had said during the season that the big reason for that is obviously Andrew Luck cannot stay healthy. I mean, I'm sure he wanted to keep him on his roster, but taking a chance when we only have a couple more seasons left, he's rolling the dice. In my opinion, he's going to try to grab one of those top guys. There's no doubt in my mind after both of those trades. What do you think, Al?
Definitely. I mean, it made all the sense when the first trade took place. I don't know if it was Luck was the first trade or it was the draft picks, but I mean, it spells it out. I mean, and we do have, in my opinion, 5 good quarterbacks.
Yeah. Now,
yeah, and then looking at the next trade here, we have the New York Giants. They traded away their number 8 pick in the first round, and then the second round pick, which happens to be number 60. And they leapfrog the Cleveland Browns and get the first pick in this year's first round draft.
Now, what do you think the thought behind that was? I mean, there's a lot of rumors going around that the New York Giants could be jumping ahead of Cleveland because they're scared that they're going to get one of the top quarterbacks. I mean, what do you think, Al? Do you think that the Giants made that move to jump ahead of Cleveland to grab one of the quarterbacks or to grab one of the elite pass rushers that are on the board?
I say quarterback.
I don't know. I mean, if you look, the Giants just announced that they're letting Olivier Vernon seek a trade. So I'm wondering if the Giants are looking for a pass rusher, and maybe they need to free up a little bit of room here and get rid of Vernon.
That is true. I mean, there's a couple ways they could go about this. I mean, if I were to guess, I'm going to make a bold prediction here. I think 4 quarterbacks are going to go in the first round. I think I've talked to a lot of teams. There's a lot of buzz around Jake Fromm, obviously the number 1 prospect in the upcoming draft. But also, it's pretty spread out. You got Tua Tagovailoa. I think that's how you say his name. You also got Justin Herbert. And then there's a 4th one that's right on the tip of my tongue that we're not talking about. Let me go take a look.
And then Eason.
Yeah, Eason. You got Eason as well. And then Montez. I think there's at least going to be the 3 are going to go in the first round. I think that Eason or Montez could possibly slide up there if teams do like what they saw during the season.
Yeah, that's a good point, Brian. And then looking at the third trade here, it's funny because the Indianapolis Colts, they acquire that number 9 pick from the Bears, And then they turn around and trade it along with the number 21 pick. So they actually had 2 draft picks in the first round. They trade them both to the New England Patriots, as if the Patriots need any more picks, for their number 6 pick. That's another big trade there, because now the Patriots, let me see if math serves me correctly here. The New England Patriots now have 2 picks in the first round. And the Colts move up to number 6. So are the Colts looking for a quarterback now too?
Well, that's what I was just talking about. They're definitely looking for a quarterback. There's no way they would have traded Andrew Luck going into the season, not knowing who their starting quarterback's going to be. They're wanting one of the 3 to fall, and my sources tell me that they're expecting any of the top 3 quarterbacks. If there's not one that they really love, but if there's one up there that's going to fall, they are going to take him. Now, they do have Jacoby Brissett, like you said. Then they got another guy, Easton Stick, who's not really that great. They are going to carry 3 quarterbacks into preseason. It's going to be interesting, though. Are they going to use that pick if all 3 quarterbacks go? That's going to be the big question leading into this draft.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, he did have some success with Jacoby Brissett too, though.
He did, but if you watched a lot of his games towards the end of the season, Jacoby Brissett seemed to kind of fall off the cliff, so to speak. He lost a very tough game to myself and to a couple other people, and even in the playoffs, Jacoby Brissett played really poor. In my opinion, there's no reason you make those trades if you're not moving up to get a quarterback. With the biggest weakness on his team when Andrew Luck went out was the quarterback spot. That is the spot that they are going to grab a quarterback, in my opinion. Now, the obvious question is, what if 3 quarterbacks go? What are they going to do at that spot? I don't know. I mean, are they going to reach for a guy like Montez or Eason? I probably wouldn't, but they are so hard up for a quarterback right now, it would not surprise me if those 4 went in the top 10 picks.
Yeah, I would agree. We actually, you know what, Alpha? We have approximately 2 minutes here until the draft starts. Coach Jaywood is actually wandering around the studio here. You guys want to talk to him for a minute before we start the draft?
As long as he's not pissing on our plants out in the lobby, I'm okay with him coming in here, okay?
Making me nervous.
So while we wait for Mr. Jaywood to enter, I'd like to take a second and acknowledge the hard work that a lot of the SBSL owners and a lot of the staff and some of our producers have done for last season. And then going into the offseason here, this offseason has run extremely smooth. So great job, Reverse Live, Coolidge, Aries, Alpha, Big Al, all you guys out there. You guys do a fantastic job.
Well, thank you. That's
actually walked into the studio. How you doing today, sir?
Don't tell me he's pissing on our rose garden, okay?
Yeah,
we warned about
this.
He
has
okay?
some technical difficulties with his mic, so until we get that figured out, I think it's just about draft time. I mean, is there anything you guys want to talk about before we go live?
Last thing that I want to say before I let Al take over. This is going to be very interesting to see what comes about with the quarterback. I think that's going to be the big story. You've got some good prospects up there and some very quarterback needy teams, so it's going to be very interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to see what happens. I think the key for the quarterback, as you guys talk about, is once that first one's picked, I think that's when it's panic time. That's when all the teams that need a quarterback are going to start picking that quarterback before they pick the player that they really want to pick. That's just my opinion, but it should be fun. I think it'll be fun to, the next couple seasons with these guys, so I can't wait. Let's get it started.
Absolutely.
Enzo's ready.
Yeah, Enzo's ready. He's really ready for this draft. He's waiting for me to hit the advance button here. So without further ado, we are advancing to the week of the draft right now.
All right, guys, we are started at the 2020 SBSL draft. And the Giants are on the clock.
Yeah, and this is a big pick here for the Giants. They leapfrogged the Cleveland Browns, so they obviously have someone in mind here. They must have been worried that maybe the Cleveland were looking at them because they pulled that deal and leapfrogged, 6 other teams or 7 other teams here to get this number 1 pick.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they go about this pick and who they go with. I still think that they could go quarterback, but I think pass rusher is where they're going to go.
Yeah, I'm with you, Brian. I really think that they're going after a pass rusher, especially with announcing that they're going to start shopping Vernon. I really think maybe they see a J.J. Watt here in the draft.
Yeah, and as you can see from the banner, there's a lot of there's some good edge rushers in the draft. A couple names that come to mind for me is Anthony Jennings out of Alabama, and also Jalen Phillips out of UCLA. Those are 2 names that I'm looking for here.
And the pick is in. The Giants have selected the quarterback out of Georgia, Jake Fromm. And what can you tell me about Fromm?
Go ahead, Al.
Let me pull him up. Sorry, guys. Oh, there he is. Thick frame. He's a big kid. I mean, he's got the numbers. I'm still trying to pull him up here on my board. Sorry, fellas.
While we're waiting, we have the Cleveland Browns on the clock right now, so I'm wondering if that Browns war room is kind of scrambling here a little bit. Maybe the Giants stole their pick. I mean, I don't imagine the Browns really needing a quarterback. They already have what I thought that quarterback position shored up.
I was talking to the Browns earlier, and I think that they were afraid that they were going to jump. I think Jalen Phillips is the pick here. They do want to have somebody on the other side of what the hell's his name? Yep, that's who they're picking.
And the Browns pick is in. The Browns actually go pass rush. Left end out of UCLA, Jalen. Good call, Brian.
Yeah, so Jalen Phillips, one thing I really like about this guy, he's a fantastic, probably the best edge rusher in the draft. He's got great hit power. He explodes off the block. He's got great hip movement. Pairing on the other side of Garrett, that's going to be a nasty pass rush. The Browns just really reap the benefits of him falling to number 2. I think this is a fantastic pick, and in my mind, this is the number 1 player in the draft.
Yeah, we currently have the Houston Texans on the clock right now. Looking back at this Giants pick for Jake Fromm, Fromm comes in at a 76 overall. He has 94 throwing power, 84 short accuracy, 81 medium accuracy, and 78 deep accuracy. He does possess 81 throw on the run, so he can move around in the pocket a la Aaron Rodgers and get rid of that ball. He is a star, so that's a very good pick for the Giants.
Yeah, it's a big pick. He's a strong arm quarterback on my board. He fits a vertical zone run, a vertical power run. He's got the arms similar to pro comparison of Joe Flacco arm wise, but he was a mid-round pick for me. Position rank though, I had him number 1 on my board.
Yeah, I think it's a good pick for the Giants. Getting in there and adding that QB is just huge, especially for the Giants franchise. And it looks like the Houston Texans pick is in. They go defensive tackle out of Auburn, Derek Brown.
Yeah, Derek Brown, man, he's got tremendous size. He's a huge boy. They're going to pair him up with J.J. Watt, so J.J. Watt's not getting double team every play. I love this pick. Derek Brown is just a hustler. He loves to shed blocks, and he can stop the run, but he is not only a run stopper, but he can also rush the passer as well. I love this pick.
So this just in, the Detroit Lions, they go defensive back out of Florida, C.J. Henderson.
It's a big pick there for them.
Yeah, tell us about him, Al.
Before you do, we have the Houston Texans back on the clock, guys. Go ahead, Al.
C.J. Henderson, he runs well. He sinks into the receiver. He plays the field well. He gets his head around and makes a play on the ball. He's good on the field. He sees things coming. He shows some discipline. He's got technique. He matches up well with other receivers. He's got quick feet. In my opinion, he's a comparison to Tre'Davious White, I guess you could say. I had him as a 2nd round pick. He was a position number 1 rank on my board.
Yeah, taking a look back at this Derek Brown selection to Houston. He's a 79 overall, and he's a star development, so an outstanding pick for Houston.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, on most people's boards, he was number 1 on their board. I think Houston really was surprised that they did fall to him. Having that type of body there, did they really need someone like him? No, but man, they are going to be able to stop the run and stop it fast.
And this just in, the Texans pick is in. Their second pick in the first round, middle linebacker out of Oregon, Troy Dye.
Troy Dye.
And we have the Indianapolis Colts currently on the clock and the New York Jets following them.
Yeah, Troy Dye is a great middle linebacker. He is a field general linebacker who can command. I mean, this is going to be great defense for Texas. They were one of the worst defenses going into the season. So getting Dye and Brown, you're securing the middle of that field. He's going to be able to, cut off the middle passes. And also, he's got pretty good block shed ability to be able to stop that run. I love that pick.
Yeah, it's a good pickup for him. He's got speed to power, ability to give, and when he has a runway to the quarterback, he is one of probably the toughest kids in this draft, and he brings swagger to the linebackers corps. The only thing is, though, is that he drops his head at times when he tackles, and he does have poor tackling technique, and he did suffer a few stingers in college.
That is correct. Yeah, he did.
As if that Houston Texans team needed any more defense. They are already pretty solid on defense. Especially on the defensive line, and now they add a middle linebacker out of Oregon. Watch out for this Texans team on defense next year.
Very interesting. The Colts probably are very happy that they've got a couple different choices here. If you were to guess, Al, do you think they go with Herbert or do you think they go with Tagovailoa?
Either way, I would say Tagovailoa. Let me see if
your stream is down, by the way.
Yeah.
And the Indianapolis Colts select quarterback out of Alabama, Tua Tagovailoa.
Tagovailoa, yeah, that's a great pick. I really like this pick because he is actually going to fit this offense really well. If you watch Alabama play, they play a very pro-style offense. While his throw power is not the greatest, he has tremendous accuracy. And if you watch the Colts play, he loves those short intermediate passes. He loves to be able to roll out and make the throw on the run. I love this pick. This guy is going to fit this offense, and he's going to start right away, in my opinion.
Yeah, and Coach UB, he really was looking for a back. He was not satisfied with Jacoby Brissett, obviously, and I think Andrew Luck's health played a huge role in his decision to trade him off to Chicago. So, yeah, I like this pick, too. Is that stream back up, Alpha?
It is back up. Yeah, it must have froze or something, but we did get it back up. I don't know if you were downloading porn or something, but you probably better stop that if you're going to be streaming this.
I wish I was that lucky, Brian. Yeah,
anyway.
So the Jets pick is in. They go linebacker out of Alabama, Afrini Jennings, a solid pick at 77 overall.
Oh, that would be Anthony Jennings. And Al, why don't you tell us about Anthony Jennings?
Power rusher, fits my scheme, and how could you go wrong with a kid from Alabama? He's 85 tackle, 86 hit power, 80 speed, 80 acceleration, 83 pursuit, 78 on power moves, 77 on block shed. He's 82 strength. He's a solid fit. I needed an outside back. I needed an outside guy, a rusher, someone who's powerful. So we'll see what he can do.
Very surprising that he fell to you. I had him as my number 2 player in the draft. I thought he was going to go somewhere within that top 5. He did fall to you, so I think that's a great value. I think that you got a great player. Like you said, he does fit both schemes. He can play either one, and I think he'll start right away. I'm sure you feel that way too. So.
And the Cardinals selection is in, wide receiver out of Alabama, Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah, Jerry Jeudy, man. This guy was the best the number one prospect, in my opinion, in the entire draft. He had everything. He's got the big playmaking ability. He's got that extra gas in his gear to race past the defenders. He's just got everything that you need in a wide receiver. Reminds me a lot of the guy that went there before, Julio Jones. I love Jerry Jeudy here. They have value with this pick.
The Green Bay Packers selection is in. They go left tackle out of Stanford. Walker Little, 75 overall, solid pick.
It's a big pick for them. I mean, he's definitely one of the better linemen in this draft. But going back to Jerry Drury, I have him listed as an Odell Beckham type player. Definitely first round pick. Fits all vertical styles. He's a deep threat. He was ranked third, number one ranked by position on my board.
And the Washington Redskins pick is in. They go quarterback out of Oregon, Justin Herbert.
And no, they did not waste any time grabbing Herbert. They needed a quarterback, and in my opinion, this is a great pick. I liked Herbert better than I liked him better than Tagovailoa, just because he's very versatile and he's a dual threat quarterback. I think in the long run he's going to be the better quarterback, but you can't go wrong with either prospect. If you were to ask the Washington Redskins if they would have thought that one of the top three quarterbacks would have dropped to them, I don't think that they would have thought that, but they made no time in selecting Herbert. I think this is a fantastic pick for them.
A big pick for them. He's a scrambler quarterback despite his size. He's a big kid. He's 6'6", 233. He's a Tyrod Taylor type comparison in my book. He's a mid-round pick. They got a steal here for him.
Yeah, I think that's a good comparison, by the way.
Strong player, definitely.
Yeah, I think Tyrod's a good comparison.
And Big Mike is also known. Yeah. Big Mike is also known for his ability to develop young quarterbacks. The Miami Dolphins pick is in. They go right end out of Ohio State, Chase Young, 75 overall.
Yeah, Chase Young was an absolute beast after Joey Bosa left. Had a great year with Ohio State. I'm actually kind of surprised he did not go earlier. I know that the Texans were in talks. They had visits with him about drafting him, but I think that when Brown fell, that was their guy. But Chase Young is going to be a fantastic end. He's one of my top ends, actually number one for Big Al's top end. So yeah, I think this is a great value pick at number 11.
Definitely, he's a big board 13 for me. He's a position ranked number 1. He's a power rush defensive end. He fits the 4-6. He fits the base 3-4. He also fits a multiple 3-4 and a Tampa 2. Everson Griffin would be my pro comparison. I had him as a third round pick. Now this is all pre-combine, but he's definitely a solid player. 6'5", 265, heavy tackler. Unfortunately, he could do a bit better using his length and keeping blockers off of him. So he is a little bit weak on that end.
So I'm going to take this chance and kind of go back to pick number 8, the Arizona Cardinals. They selected Jerry Jeudy, wide receiver. He is a 76 overall. He has 91 speed and 94 acceleration. This guy can get off the line. He has 81 catch in traffic, 82 catching, 90 agility, and 87 jumping with 86 spectacular catch. This guy is a serious weapon for the Cardinals.
Yeah, he's a solid pick, I would say. The only weakness I would say about him is he could do a better understanding of route leverage, and also he's a natural pass catcher who occasionally runs into a focus drop here and there. So he's kind of looking down the field before he catches it. I've noticed in a couple of his films, so he's got to tighten that up, and he'll be solid.
And this just in, the Los Angeles Chargers selection is in. They go left tackle out of Wisconsin. Cole Van Lanen, 74 overall.
Yeah, Van Lanen was actually probably my number 2 left tackle right behind Walker Little. I love this pick. The Chargers have struggled for a couple years with their offensive line. I think what's going to happen is this guy is going to be able to protect Rivers, maybe get a couple more years out of him, and really solidify that offensive line. And if you know Wisconsin, those guys are big boys. They eat a lot of cheese out there, and they know how to grow those homegrown big left tackles. My comparison with him, I know it's because they both went to Wisconsin, but Joe Thomas, this guy has not as polished as Joe Thomas, but he's got a lot of talent in his body. I think that they will be able to coach him up and get the best out of him.
Yeah, I have him listed as a 7. Sorry there. Go ahead.
And protecting Phillip Rivers' backside, his blind side when he drops back to pass, that is a huge pick for Coach Monica because she does love to sling the ball around the field. So being able to protect that left side should really help her offense out a lot.
Oh yeah,
I had him
absolutely.
a true value rating of 73.6, so that's spot on with the 74, I think he was. So definitely a power left tackle, fits that West Coast style, multiple run, vertical run. I had him listed more as a pro comparison of Ronnie Staley, and listed as a second round, position ranked number 1, 11th overall on my board.
So on the clock right now, we have the Atlanta Falcons, coached by your Momza. This guy was in the playoffs. He had a solid year with the Falcons, and he is one of my teams to watch out of the NFC this year. I really think he has a solid chance at a Super Bowl, especially being able to build this team from the draft and through free agency here. So watch for the Falcons. I'm really curious what they take here at pick number 13. And the Falcons pick is in. They go middle linebacker out of Miami, Shaquille Quarterman, 70 even overall.
Yeah, and if you look at his overall, it looks like they reached for this guy, but in my opinion, they got a perfect fit in that offense, or I'm sorry, in that defense. He reminds me a lot of like Deion Jones, their other linebacker. I don't know why they went with this unless they're going with a 4-3 or a 3-4, and they're going to put them side by side. But man, he can fly. One of the fastest 40s in the combine, along with the cone and everything. So, great pick here. I know that he's not over a 70, and a lot of guys are going to be like, why did he make that pick? I like the pick. What do you think, Al?
I had him listed as a true value 66.8, so 67, 62 overall on my board, but he's position ranked 4th in the draft. He's a run-stopping middle linebacker. He's got the speed. He fits the 4.6, the 3.4, and the multiple 3.4. I had him listed as a Michael Kendricks late round pick.
Oh, that's a good comparison.
Yeah, and on the clock right now, we have the Tennessee Titans at pick number 14, Coach Waffle House, who is a very, very competitive owner. He is rebuilding that Titans roster right now, so I'm really curious. He's got about 40 seconds left on the draft clock right now, so really curious to see what this Titans team can do in the first round.
I want to say real quick, we have 20 viewers right now, so I'm very impressed about that. Guys, get in the chat. I'm reading the chat. I'll read out some of this stuff that you guys are talking. All the shit you're talking, or all this, if you guys just want to talk, whatever. Let's get this chat going, guys. Such a great draft thus far. Any surprises by either one of you guys as this pick comes up?
Yeah, this last pick by the Falcons,
Yeah,
this one
definitely.
really surprised me.
Yeah, the Shaquille
So we are
Quarter.
ticking
I mean,
down
I get
here
it,
in the
speed-wise,
Titans.
yeah.
The Titans war room. They are out of time. I'm not sure if they got that selection. They got it in. They got it in just in time. Left tackle out of Auburn, Prince Tiga Wanjgo, 71 overall. And I know I messed up that name, so Alpha. So go ahead and correct me.
Actually, you were really close to that. That's really better than a normal name like Herbert. You saying Eber or whatever you said. That's a really good. That's a really good pronounce of that name. I'm really surprised at the way you did that, because normally you really butcher the names. So instead of analyzing this pick, I'm going to analyze your pronounce of that name. So anyway, Al, tell us about this guy.
I have him as a true value 71.6, so 72. I had him 23 on the bid board overall, 3rd in my position rank. He's a power left tackle, fits the West Coast power, multiple power, vertical power. So he's definitely a power run left tackle. Nate Solder is my comparison to him. I had him listed as a later round draft pick, unfortunately, but they took him here early.
And that's okay. I mean, if the Titans see what they want there, maybe their guy got selected because somebody got that tackle out of Stanford. So I think he had to fall back. Notice he took the left tackle too. Currently on the clock, we have the New Orleans Saints. Pick number 15, rookie head coach Dr. Gloomsburg. He's a huge Saints fan in real life. Kind of curious to see what he does here. I wonder if he's going to go quarterback with the aging Drew Brees.
May I say quarterback or line to protect Brees for another year into the future?
I think line. I like that, Al. But my opinion is, if you go, there's really a drop from those 3 quarterbacks to the next class. I think that you can wait in the 2nd or 3rd round and get your guy, but I don't think that you need to reach on a quarterback. You've got a couple more years left with Brees. I don't think this is the time to pull that trigger.
And his pick is in. He goes middle linebacker out of Purdue. He takes the Boilermaker, Marcus Bailey, 73 overall.
You didn't butcher the name. You butchered the team name.
Well, when you name your team after a Boilermaker,
Yeah.
I mean,
I like this pick. Again,
Right.
all you're doing is stocking the linebackers. You have aging linebackers there. You have a good defense. You got a young secondary, and you got some young pass rushers. Why not beef up that middle linebacker spot? He was, in my opinion, rated third middle linebacker on the board. So I think they got a good value here. What do you think, Al?
Yeah, definitely. I had him ranked as a 71 overall. He's not real big. I mean, he's 6'1", but he's not real big at 240. I had him 26 on the big board, third overall by position rank. He's a run-stopping middle linebacker. Fits the 4.6 and the 4.3 base or multiple. I have him in comparison at Kevin Minter, and I had him in a later draft pick than this.
so currently we have the Cincinnati Bengals. They are on the clock with pick number 16. They have about 43 seconds left on the clock. What do you think the Bengals need, Al?
Bengals. I would say quite a bit.
Well,
Left
their
guard,
pick is in.
offensive
Yeah.
line.
Go for it, Al. Announce it.
Let's see, Ben Bredesen, left guard out of Michigan. Let me pull him up real quick.
Well, while you're
Yeah,
pulling
so-
him up, I want to talk a little bit about him. Ben Bredesen is very versatile. He comes out of Michigan, where they know how to breed those offensive linemen. The nice thing about him is he can play guard or tackle, so he's very versatile in that type of offense. So he'll be able to play any position that they really need him to. I even think that he can play center. I like this pick. Very good value pick here. What, in my opinion, on the interior line, he was actually my number two player in that position. So I like that. If you get someone like him at pick 16, you're really setting yourself up for a good draft.
Yeah, and overall wise, he is actually the best offensive lineman selected so far in the draft.
Yeah.
He's a big kid too. He's 6'5", 320. He's a fluid combo blocker. I had him 70 overall. He does need to work on his control, weight gain, and pros and such like that. So I had him 41 overall on the big board, fourth in position rank. He's a power guard. He fits any power style scheme. I had him listed as a comparison of Ali Mepret, and I had him as a mid-round pick. So it's not a bad pick for the Bengals here. It's something that they needed.
Absolutely.
And currently we have the Buffalo Bills, and the Bills pick is in. They also go offensive line, right tackle out of Alabama, Jedrick Willis Jr. He is a 72 overall.
Yeah, and I like him. He's actually he did a really good job of protecting Tua this year. But the problem with him is that he's very like one-sided as a right tackle. I don't think he's going to do very well being at the left tackle position. So I think when you pick him, you're really valuing him right at that right tackle. He doesn't have the versatility as some of the other guys that we've talked about before.
And currently
Right.
we have the Jacksonville Jaguars on the clock. So, Coach Alpha, you have a minute 15 or so. You have pick
I
number
already
19.
know who I'm going to pick, so give me a second here.
Yeah, so this Jaguars team, I had the opportunity to play them about midseason. This team can light up the scoreboard. I know it sounds a little odd for a Jaguars team, but I'm telling you, this team has some weapons. They can move that ball. A solid offense, and their pick is in. They actually went wide receiver out of Colorado, Laviska Shenault, 75 overall, solid pick. What can you tell us about him, Brian?
Well, I can tell you right now that he's a star development. I had my eye on him the entire time. I was hoping that none of these wide receiver needy teams was going to snatch him up before I was able to make my pick. I do have some depth at wide receiver, but some of those guys are getting old. The nice thing about him is he's a tall physical receiver, but he's got the speed to make the catches. He does have 86 spectacular catch, 82 catch in traffic, 93 acceleration, and he also is a star development. So, I did not think he was going to fall to me, but man, I'm so happy that he fell right in my lap.
Yeah, and this just in, T. Hoyt and the New England Patriots. They go defense corner out of LSU, Christian Fulton, 74 overall.
He's a big pickup, man-to-man quarterback. He's a base 3-4, multiple 3-4, 4-6 scheme fit. Janoris Jenkins is my thought come to mind for pro comparison. I had him as a mid-round pick, 4th overall in this position, 47th on the big board. He's definitely got good eye-hand coordination, hands and timing. Great pick. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to figure out how to beat him.
Yeah, and I like Christian Fulton. He does remind me a lot of those Ty Law and those physical receivers, or I'm sorry, physical corners that New England has always liked to have. And I know that the way that T. Hoyt likes to play his defense, he likes those press corners. This guy is going to fit his scheme perfectly. And a guy like him, he probably didn't think he was going to fall to him at number 19. But look at the Patriots reaping the rewards yet again. We have an AFC contender here. To me, it's an easy pick. You got to go with a guy like Christian Fulton, especially when some of the other corners are getting as old as they are.
Yep.
Yeah, I want to take a chance and look back at the Buffalo. The guys' attributes are in the Buffalo Bills right tackle. They selected Jedrick Wills Jr. He's a 72 overall, but he does have 89 strength. He has 82 acceleration. Not so good pass blocking stats, but they're very, very workable. He does have 78 run block and 73 pass block.
And that's what we were talking about. That's what we were talking about. He doesn't have that pass blocking to play that left tackle to block for Josh Allen. So they're going to use him. They're going to have to use him at right tackle and let him grow into that pick.
Yeah, and the Philadelphia Eagles selection is in. And pick number 20, the Eagles go offensive line, left guard out of Mississippi State, Darrell Williams, 74 overall.
Left guard.
He's a big boy. I think that's a good pickup for the Philadelphia Eagles. We have the New England Patriots back on the clock right now at pick number 21.
Darrell Williams.
And the New England Patriots selection is in. They go defense again. Defensive tackle out of Alabama, Raquan Davis, 75 overall. Solid selection for the Pats.
Yeah, big time power rusher, defensive tackle, Tampa 2 style defense. Eddie Goldman comes to mind as a pro comparison. I had him listed as position rank 3rd. He was 16th on my big board. So 2 great picks for the Patriots. You know, for them, great. For me, not so great.
Yeah, the Houston Texans are actually back on the clock again for a 3rd selection here in the 1st round. They pick at number 22 here, so interesting to see what the Texans do.
Would they go 2 defensive in their first pick?
Yeah, they went defense on both selections. They got to be going offense here.
Wide receiver here.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what the New England Patriots do on in that AFC East this year. They missed the playoffs. They fired their head coach right as we hit the playoffs. And then T. Hoyt, who was the defensive coordinator for the Raiders as the Raiders won the Super Bowl, he also stepped in and became the head coach for the Raiders for the last game. And then he was able to be signed by the New England Patriots. I think it's a huge pick for the Patriots to pick up Hoyt, and then they get 2 solid defenders here. He's got 2 Super Bowl championships, 2 rings. He's 2-0 in the Super Bowl, and he has the Patriots. So I'd watch out for that Patriots team in the East.
Definitely would have to agree. They're always a contender in the AFC East. Hopefully we could change that this year. We'll see.
And the nice thing about what he's doing with this, he's rebuilding this defense from the inside out, and I like that. I like that pick, Raquan Davis. I think that he can do a lot. He was my number 2 defensive tackle, so for him to fall to number 22, I think that's a great pick. You have to get a guy like that there. He's a great tackler, and he has great hit power. So those guys that run up the middle, he's going to be able to knock the ball out and use that hit stick.
And this just in, the Houston Texans, they go right guard, NC State, and I am going to butcher this name, Joe Sculthorpe.
Hey, that was really good, man. That was really good.
Great job.
Ding,
great
ding, ding.
job. Yeah, great job.
So on the clock right now, we have a formidable owner, Coach JMO, and his Carolina Panthers, and his pick is in. He goes halfback out of Georgia, DeAndre Swift, 75 overall. What's this guy look like, Al?
Swift. I had the other guy up for the Texans.
Well, Swift, I can tell you right now, he wasted no time grabbing Swift. Swift is one of the best running backs in this entire class. In my opinion, he's probably third. But when you like your guy and he fits your scheme, you got to go for him. They wasted no time. So, in my opinion, that's who they were eyeballing from the start. I like this pick. He's very elusive, but he also has some power to him as well. He is an every down back, so he's not a type of back that you're going to use here and there. He's going to be a great complement to Christian McCaffrey, where McCaffrey's going to be able to maybe sit on the sideline a couple times and not take as much punishment as he has been the last couple years.
I have him as a comparison to Todd Gurley. I had him as 5th position rank, but still a solid pick.
And we have the Dallas Cowboys on the clock right now at pick number 24. Coach Triple Aries, solid Soden Bowl owner. I'd like to take a second, look back at that Texans selection. He is Sculthorpe. He is a 78 run block, 72 pass block, 90 strength. So I think that is a solid pick for him. And the Dallas Cowboys pick is in. They go wide receiver out of Texas. Go figure. Colin Johnson, 72 overall.
I love this pick. I had Colin Johnson as my number 3 wide receiver, and I can tell you right now that if Chenault was gone, this is the guy I was going after. He is going to be the red zone target for this offense. He's very tall and lanky, and while he's not as polished as Calvin Johnson, he is very comparable to that with his prototypical size and speed. I like this guy, and I love this pick. He has to do some work on his route running, but I love the value here at number 24. They needed wide receiver to pair up to Cooper, and they got him. They got their guy at number 24.
So do you think he's kind of a Dez Bryant for Dallas, a replacement for Dez Bryant?
I do. I think he's a little taller than Dez Bryant, has a different type of play style, but he could go up and grab the catch with the one-on-one matchups. And I feel like if you go back and watch their games, that's what they were missing last year.
Yeah, so if you compare Cooper and the rookie Johnson together, between the two of them, they have a catch radius vertical.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this just in, the Atlanta Falcons, they go defense again. Cornerback out of Arizona State, Chase Lucas, 74 overall.
Al, you want to take this one?
Cornerback.
And we have the Cleveland Browns on the clock right now. The Browns are pick number 26. They have about a minute 34 for that Browns war. This is one of the most active war rooms I've seen in recent history. This Browns team, they are all over the place. Up next, we have the Kansas City Chiefs after the Browns.
Yeah, Chase Lucas, I have him listed as a man-to-man quarterback. He fits the 3-4 style and a 4-6. Had him listed as a comparison to Patrick Robinson. Late-round pick. I had him 60th on my big board, but I had him 8th in position rank. He does need to work a little bit on his kick returning, so they might use him maybe as the special teams is what they're looking for here. I'm not sure, but he's a good pick. He's not bad, but if man-to-man is their style, then I could see that that's what they're looking to do.
Yeah, and you got to think about it. They have a guy on the other side, Trufant, who they really never have had that number 2 guy. They had Alfred for a couple years, but this guy is a great corner, and he's going to play right away.
And this just in, the Cleveland Browns, they go corner out of Michigan. Lavert Hill, 75 overall, a solid pick for late in the first round.
Absolutely.
Michigan boy.
Yeah, Michigan boy. He was actually my first cornerback in this draft. But that's because I like that man coverage corner. Not the greatest of zone coverage, but if you look at the Browns, again, they're pairing him on the other side of Denzel Ward. And if you look at what they've done in this draft, they have paired 2 phenomenal players in their position with players on the other side. So while you have Denzel Ward playing on one side, now you've got your shutdown corner who can play that press man coverage on the other side. And I believe this guy's a star development. Great pick. Like I said, I had him listed as my number 1 cornerback going into this draft.
Yeah, he's a 75 overall, 91 speed, 77 man coverage, 73 zone, so he does need to pick up the zone there a little bit. 93 acceleration and 94 agility with 87 jumping. He is a defensive juggernaut. So the Chiefs are winding down the clock here. They have about 30 seconds till their picks due. Looking back at the Carolina Panthers, they took DeAndre Swift, 75 overall. He is a 90 speed, 93 excel, 92 agility halfback. And this just in, the Kansas City Chiefs, they go left tackle out of Iowa, Alaric Jackson, 73 overall.
Yeah, I really like this guy. He has got good pass blocking and run blocking. The Chiefs are going to be able to plug him right in. This was actually a pick that I traded to them. They wanted back up into the first round, and now I understand why. They have a guy that can protect Mahomes, but also allow the outside run to open up for Jacobs. Love this pick. If you would think that the Chiefs are going defense 2 years in a row, after having the best offense, they went offense again. They are just compiling these offensive picks. I love what they've done.
Definitely a good pickup here. Power left tackle, fits all power schemes. Late round is where I had him, and they got him.
This just in, the Chicago Bears select halfback out of Clemson, Travis Etienne, 72 overall.
Yeah, this does not surprise me at all. If you watch the trade block in our chat, the Chicago Bears were trying to replace Jordan Howard. They are not relying on Tariq Cohen to be a 20-down back, so they were looking for another running back to pick. This makes absolute sense for the Chicago Bears, who have a pretty good team, especially on offense and on defense. They almost made the Super Bowl. They were a couple plays off. This guy could actually to step in and become a starter. And if you're watching as a fantasy football fan, you may want to pick this guy up, as I think he's going to take over that duty as starter at that Jordan Howard position.
And we have the Pittsburgh Steelers on the clock right now. Pick number 29, Coach Jay Cork, 87. He is very well known around the league as one of the best general managers in the league. He builds a solid roster, and it looks like he's walking up to the podium. His pick is in. Wide receiver out of Clemson, T. Higgins, 71 overall.
Yeah, T. Higgins is a good wide receiver. I don't know if you got a lot on him, Al. I do know that when I scouted T. Higgins, the one thing that stuck out to me is his size and his frame, being able to come down with the ball. I do think that he needs to work on his route running. I think that that's where he's kind of unpolished. But you're standing behind a guy like Juju Schuster. I think that that's going to be a great mentor for this young wide receiver.
I like this kid a lot. He's 6'4", he's 210, he's an explosive leaper, he's a 50-50 ball winner, so if you're going to throw it up to him and get it to him, he's got a body like a tight end. He does limit the yards after catch potential due to the lack of elusiveness in the open field, but I had him 5th overall by position, red zone threat. I had him Alshon Jeffrey comparison, 22 overall on my big board. It's a good solid pick for them.
And currently we have the Seattle Seahawks Coach Taco King on the clock, closing out the first round here at pick number 30. As if Taco needs anyone else on this roster. He's a solid owner. I think he was upset at home versus the Green Bay Packers, but he still had a fantastic season, and I see him being right back in that NFC Championship game again.
Yeah, he was definitely upset. He took that loss very personally. And he felt that the game actually screwed him over, even though he was destroyed 33-0. So, yeah, he's got to make a good pick here, and hopefully he can pick a player that will definitely fit his scheme. He knows how to draft, and I don't think he's available because it looked like his stream went up a little bit ago. So it sounds to me like he's set his draft board. So let's see who he ends up getting here.
Yeah, so his time is up in the Seahawks war room. The Seahawks have drafted corner out of Virginia, Bryce Hall, 73 overall. Not bad for pick number 30.
Yeah, go ahead, Al.
Kid, yeah, he's a good pickup here. I can't complain about him. He's a slot cornerback in my position. He needs to work on fitting a scheme. Minkah Fitzpatrick is my comparison to him. I had him listed as a third overall position and 46 on my big board.
So on the clock right now, we have the Green Bay Packers, and his pick is in. Strong safety out of Clemson, Isaiah Simmons, 75 overall. Coach Kilo Wren hugs and
Yeah, Hugs and Kisses made a great pick here. I cannot believe this guy fell to pick number 31. 75 overall, and I believe a star development. How can every other team pass on this guy? Now, if you look at one of their glaring needs, it's a safety position. They lost in the Super Bowl because of a missed tackle by their safety. So that's probably haunting this coach, and he probably made no bones about it. He was going to get a safety to stop that run.
Yeah, that's a great analogy there, Brian. He was literally one tackle, possibly winning the Super Bowl.
This kid, I like him, and I think they did the film on him, and this is why they like him too. In the comparisons that I get from him, this is like a wolf in the field looking for his next meal. That's what type of hitter this kid is, and he is going to find you and seek you out and put it on you. And you look at him, and he's got a small, bony frame, but this kid will put a lick on you, and I think it's a great pick for them. Smart move.
And this just in, the Oakland Raiders, they go quarterback out of Washington, Jacob Eason, 66 overall.
Yeah, I mean, first off, I want to say that was a great analogy about the wolf. I mean, he is a predator when he's on that field, so I do love that. I do want to talk about Jacob Eason again. As you could see from his overall, there was a huge drop from the top three quarterbacks to the next tier. Jacob Eason, as we probably think that's a bit of a reach, there's probably some internal rumblings going on that Derek Carr could be on his way out of Oakland.
That's very interesting. And the Raiders, the second round here, they select halfback out of Alabama, Najee Harris, 75 overall. Great pick for the second round.
Pick up.
Yeah, I mean,
Najee Harris out of Alabama. Power running back, West Coast power. He fits all power schemes. He's a Marshawn Lynch. He's a beast mode type style player. Definitely a big pickup for them. So they pretty much just pick him up as beast mode walks out.
Yeah, the only thing that I worry about with Najee Harris is that Nick Saban loves to run the ball and pretty much overuse his running backs. If you look at Najee Harris, the question remains to me, is there enough tread on the tires to withstand a NFL season? Because he's going to take over that starting job.
Yeah, the big problem with this guy is he's not effective in the passing game at all.
You're right.
He's a runner, straight runner.
The Cleveland Browns have approached the bench here. They have selected Ben Cleveland, right guard out of Georgia.
Very fitting to get a guy named Ben Cleveland to Cleveland. One of my the number one. Purpose? Yeah, I mean the number one right guard in my opinion. I love the pick.
Yeah, big kid here too. 71 overall. I had him ranked 6'6", 341. He's an anchor at the offensive line. He's a power guard. I had him ranked second overall. He's a West Coast run style, power run. He fits any type of run style you want to do. This kid is definitely a big, powerful kid.
And the Ravens select J.R. Reed, strong safety. And then right after them, the Detroit Lions, they select wide receiver out of Notre Dame, Miles Boykin, 71 overall. We currently have the 49ers on the clock at pick number 5.
I absolutely love the Miles Boykin pick. Now you have a guy to pair alongside a Kenny Golladay. This guy is a tall, physical receiver. He's your prototypical type of receiver that can come down with the ball. A B+ with spec catch, B+ catch of traffic, and B+ catching. This guy is phenomenal. While his overall may not be appealing, he has the physical tools to become the number 2 guy, maybe even the number 1 guy in Detroit. That's what they're looking for to help this young quarterback, Dwayne Haskins, evolve into the next level of his career.
Boykins is a solid pick. AJ Green comparison, red zone threat, multiple zone, power run zone, multiple. So he fits multiple styles of offense. So a very smart pickup for the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, and that Lions head coach, new head coach for the season, but a veteran Soden Bowl coach. He's been around since virtually day one. Coach Stop the Run is back. Normally he is a Raiders head coach, but he's taking over a Detroit Lions team. I haven't seen him play in a long time, so I'm very interested to see how Coach Stop the Run does.
Yeah, I mean, he actually made some waves with his first pick, and now this pick. I like it. I don't think it's a reach at all. Don't worry about that overall. Overalls don't mean crap if you're able to bring down the ball with the receiver like he is. He's going to be able to develop into that number 2 guy. Like I said, I really think that he could, at some point at the end of the season, overtake Kenny Golladay for that number 1.
And the 49ers Hall of Fame head coach, Seahawks 37-26. He goes defensive tackle out of Texas A&M, Justin Modwick, 73 overall.
Adam fourth position on this pick. He's a power rusher, defensive tackle, fits the Tampa 2. Had him listed as an Eddie Goldman comparison. He looks to pursue run through the rib cage. His weight and maintain pursuit. He loves to get to the scrambling mobile quarterback, so that'll be a big pickup on defense. He does need a little bit of help on his footwork and technique.
And now
the Pats.
Yeah, you're up, Al, by the way.
The Patriots go strong safety out of Michigan, Khaleke Hudson, 75 overall. That's an outstanding pick for T. Hoyt.
Oh, absolutely. If you look at what T. Hoyt has done with this defense, he's taken a cornerback, a defensive tackle, and now a safety. You have pretty much solidified 75% of the defense as far as like what you want to do. T. Hoyt must be very comfortable with his offense. I love this pick. I believe he's a star development. He's got that hip power that if they try to throw a post or something over the middle, he's going to pop them. Fumble, interception, whatever. That's going to be huge for him. And he's also great in the run game. A guy like him who can pursue on, and just drive down into the box. He reminds me a lot of Troy Polamalu with the way that he plays. Does need to work on his tackling, does need to work on his zone. But man, this guy, he will be a starter from day one.
Yeah, and, defensive coordinators becoming head coach, and they go defense. He's gone 3 defensive picks now for the Patriots.
Now, you may want to pause the pick real quick. I don't know if Al needs a little bit of time, but I'm going to throw that out
I'll
there.
pause it here with 10 seconds to let him make his pick. I'm interested to see what the Jets can do here in the second round at pick number 7. The Jets do need a lot of pieces here. It is a roster challenge team. But,
it is a roster challenge team, but I like what they did with their first pick. Anthony Jennings, a guy that I had rated very top of the list, was able to fall to number 6 and fall right into his lap. If I'm the Jets, I'm going to look for a playmaker on offense to help out with the evolution of their young quarterback. If they cannot find something like that, maybe a value with an offensive tackle or a tight end. I feel like they're doing pretty well in their defense now. But yeah, you're right. They have a lot of holes to fill. So it's going to be very interesting to see what Big Al does with this pick.
Big Al, you have your pick in yet?
Yeah, sorry, I just got to the box.
No, it's cool. It's cool. We're waiting for you to
go ahead and announce your pick.
I'm not even sure who I want to take.
You got 5 seconds. Pause it again.
Shock the world.
Jonathan
Power
Taylor.
Back.
So here's the thing with me. I love this running back. If I look at my list here, Jonathan Davis was number 2 running back in the entire board for me, as I had Najee Harris ahead of him. But man, I love this pick. He's got a great overall, and he's got a great developmental trait. He's going to be that 1-2 punch that they already have Le'Veon Bell, but they're going to have him to rely on to keep Le'Veon Bell healthy.
Yeah, and The Cardinals pick is in here real quick. They go guard out of Michigan, Michael Onwenu, 69 overall.
There's not much to say about that pick. Al, I want you to tell us what you thought and what your thought process was behind that pick with Jonathan Taylor.
I like him. I've looked at him since I got into scouting this draft class. I'm a sucker for running backs. I mean, I love Lev Bell, but I love the power style runner, and this guy's going to fit my offense well. The only problem I don't like is his hands, but he's an 83 break tackle. He's an 89 speed, 91 acceleration, 88 agility, 86 carry, 83 ball vision, 85 truck, 86 stiff arm, 82 juke. Not very good on the spin or elusiveness. His strength, he's a little weak, but I love his speed and agility. And as a power back, I think that's huge. And like you mentioned it, the 1-2 combo. And with new rules coming out, splitting up the running back is something I'm looking to do.
Yeah, I love
So looking
that.
at that Cardinals pick, not to jump on you guys here, but looking at the Cardinals right guard, Michael Onwenu, 69 overall, looking at his attributes, he does have a 93 strength. And he's a solid pass blocker for a rookie at 77 pass blocks. So that's a good pick for the Cards.
No, if you look at the right guard, a lot of where the pass rush loves to come in is on that right side. I do like this pick, and that's the one thing. That's the one attribute that you cannot upgrade is his strength. It's very slow to upgrade. So if you got a guy that you want to upgrade, maybe like his worst attribute is run block, that's an easy one to fix. I like this pick. I think it was just a little bit too early.
And the Minnesota Vikings pick is in the second round, pick number 9. They go, we have the Washington Redskins who just selected. Left outside linebacker out of South Carolina, DJ Warren, 60 overall.
So there's three picks in a row. There's 3 picks in a row that were 60 or 60 plus with their picks. I'm not crazy about the last 3 picks. The Redskins, it seemed like they had him in mind, and that was their guy because of how quickly they went up to the podium. They almost tripped the other team going up there and announcing this pick. So, yes, they were ready for this guy, but I don't know. Right, are they ready for a guy like this at 60 overall? Is this guy going to be able to start and play for this team, Al?
I'm not sure, honestly. I mean, 3 picks went right in a row. I'm not even sure which guy we're on right now.
So the Vikings, the first pick there, the Vikings outside linebacker Antonio Brooks Jr. with the 9th pick in the second round. Then with the 10th pick in the second round, the Washington Redskins, they pulled the trigger so quick on Wonham with the 10th pick. So that was the 60 overall.
A guard? No, left outside linebacker.
Yeah, we
definitely know.
We didn't even scout this guy. That's how I mean, maybe Big Mike knew something that we didn't know. So anyway,
and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers pick is in.
And we got
pick.
And guess what? We got back up into the 70s. I'm happy that we didn't fall completely off the cliff.
Well, thank Notre Dame for that. Left outside linebacker Julian Aquara, 70 overall. He just made that 70 cut.
Actually, I like the pick. Aquara, like Notre Dame was actually in the top 5 defenses last year total. So one of the big reasons for that is Aquara, man. He was a great outside linebacker, flies on the ball, has a very good, like, he kind of reminds me of a poor man's Derek Thomas.
Interesting.
Warner was another
like
guy.
a broke ass sexual chocolate for all you Chappelle fans.
So we have the Los Angeles Chargers. Coach Monica on the clock right now. Pick number 12 in the second round.
Now, is she on here? Is she on?
She is not on because I am on.
So are you allowed to make her pick for her, or is this going to be an argument that we can listen to?
Yeah, I can make the pick, and here it is.
Cam Akers,
and
I like
Chargers. The Chargers selection is in. Halfback out of Florida State.
Big time pick.
And the Rams pick right behind her. Outside linebacker out of Miami, Michael Pickney, 69 overall.
You want to hear something funny before we get to this pick?
What's up?
He said, I didn't mean to pick DJ Wonnum. My son was playing and made me bump the A button. I'm sorry, that's not funny, but it's hilarious. It's hilarious because my daughter would do some shit like that to me.
It's a dad Madden moment.
That is definitely a dad Madden moment, and I love it.
Madden dad
I'm
moment,
only laughing because that could definitely happen to me. My daughter comes in and picks a fullback, 57 overall.
And watch,
can't spell Madden without that.
He will be the Super Bowl MVP in Super Bowl 94.
Exactly, Michael Smith. If he does become the Super Bowl MVP, you owe your son a Klondike bar or some sort of ice cream that he likes, whatever.
Yeah, and we have Coach Waffle House back on the clock here in the second round, pick number 14. This is a team to watch in the AFC this year. They missed the playoffs last year, but this is a highly competitive owner taking a roster-deprived team. But with a few moves here, he could be in playoff contention.
Oh, he could. One of the things, like, I did really well this past season, but he's got a chance to come back. He's a great user. He's got a great young roster. I like what he's done so far. Unfortunately, I like it because I play in that division. But he's got every opportunity to come out of that division as an AFC champion. So whatever he does here, I think that he's going to probably pick at depth at this point.
Yeah, and he has about 10 seconds on the clock here, so he may be allowing...
I got to say this, we were up to 32 users at one point, or watchers, so that's pretty impressive. Guys, if you're watching right now, spread the crap out of this. Spread it like herpes. Get it out there, get it to everybody, make them go to their doctors and get checked out. Spread this video to everybody. We want everybody watching this. We have fun doing this, but it's no fun if nobody's watching. So you guys get that video out there. If you know anybody that likes this type of stuff, get them out there to watch.
And the Titans pick is in. Yes. Center out of Oregon, Jake Hansen, 71 overall.
He's accurate, radar, seeker to the second level targets, connecting on high percentage. So he's a good through the line to the next level blocker. I like. He could contain his approach against the rushers a little better. So he's better against the push out and get out and forward, but has a problem when he's being pushed back, in my opinion. But overall, he's an agile center. He fits the spread West Coast, the vertical zone runs, any kind of zone run offense. Andrew Davis was my comparison on him. Late round pick, 5th overall on my board in that position. So good pickup.
And Dr. Gloomsburg pick is in. He did go for the quarterback out of Colorado, Steven Montez.
I like
and then
that
the
pick.
Bengals right behind him. Defensive tackle out of South Carolina, Javen Kinlaw, 71 overall.
Now, I want to go back to the Montez pick. I like that pick. We had talked about the next tier quarterback and him needing to replace somebody for Drew Brees. Yes, he's a 66 overall, but I believe that he has decent attributes. He did not have to it's kind of like the similar position that the Broncos did in real life where they didn't reach on a guy like Drew Lock. They were able to grab him in the second round. Same thing with the Saints. I like that pick.
I didn't even have him on my top 5, to be honest.
So currently we have the Buffalo Bills on the clock right now. Pick number 17, Coach Reverse live. Playing Coach Reverse, he is very tough to play because he does an outstanding job, if not the best job in the league, of mixing up his plays both on offense and defense. Just an outstanding owner. So I'm interested to see what he could do with this Bills team this year.
They're a tough opponent in my division.
Yeah, definitely.
He's got about 50 seconds left on the clock here. The Steelers have just submitted a card here for T. Higgins, back in the first round, wide receiver, 71 overall, 88 speed, 89 acceleration, 82 catching, 84 catch in traffic. But he's a 90 jumping.
But look at the spectacular catch and the jumping. 86 back, 90 jumping. But the only thing, and I talked about this before, his route running is very raw. They're going to have to really work on that and get him going in that passing game. But I do like the pick. They need a playmaker to help Josh Allen go over the top. And this is the guy that can do that.
And with the Buffalo Bills pick is in. Left guard, another guy out of Notre Dame, Tommy Kramer, 72 overall.
Just wanna make a cool shout out real quick. I'm looking at the chat here and some of the stuff, and I love the guys sending in the pictures of their draft war rooms
Absolutely.
with the paper and beer on the table and the 2 screens, one on the wall, Xbox controllers. Love it, love it, love it. It's like this is the second draft day for me every year. I love it.
So three players out of Notre
Yeah,
Dame
boom, boom, boom.
drafted in a row. Left tackle, Notre Dame. I am Eichenberg, 71 overall, going to the New England Patriots.
I have to say, his name is Liam, not I am. There's an L before the I. But anyway, but before you butcher his last name, I want to piggyback off of what Al said. How special that is that guys take so much time and effort into just like making this their draft day. This is their league. Guys, this is not our league. This is your league. So for you to be able to post
makes the 2 weeks of prep worth it.
Absolutely. All the work that we've done up this far and watching Soden butcher everyone's name has been all worth it to me. Because it must have
been the lag.
You guys are having fun with it. And guess what?
Can I do what all the owners do? Can I blame the game?
Wait a minute. I am Eckenborg. Eckenborg was just picked.
Eckenberg.
But I'm serious, guys. I love that you guys are.
I am Eckenberg.
We are a community. This is what Soda and I had envisioned from the beginning, and this is phenomenal. Like Al brought it up, but man, it touches a nerve with me because I do all this work with the graphics, the overlays, all that for you guys. I want you to enjoy it, and I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. So anyway, go ahead and butcher his name. What's going on?
So currently we have the Kansas City Chiefs with about 6 seconds, pick number 19 on the clock. 2-1. They are approaching the podium right now.
Have them on my list.
And the Kansas City Chiefs take
Weaver.
Can you say this name?
Alpha Heel 7. The Alpha Heel 7 gets docked 1,000 SBPs. Right end, Boise State, 72 overall.
Falcons, hey, I got to say that your Momza, before we talk about this pick, your Momza is saying that he's glad that we didn't see the dildo that was on his table. I don't know if that was his or his wife's or what, but I just wanted to point that out before we go to the next pick. And I have to say, Lions, hide your wires. You posted a picture of your TV, and there's like wires everywhere. So anyway, go ahead.
We have the Philadelphia Eagles on the clock at pick number 20. Once we finish this second round here, guys, the live coverage will end, but we'll leave the feed up as we talk about some of the past picks, if that's okay with you, Brian.
Oh, man, I'll do this all night, man. Yeah. I'll do this as long as you guys want. I have that 1792.
We can get the guys.
I have completely
to call in, or not call in, but ask about their picks. Maybe we can pull them
let's
get
them. Guys. So I've got some more slides.
Whoa!
So I've got some more slides of guys that haven't been picked yet. But let's get some guys in the chat. If you want to talk about your picks, how you feel about them, jump in the chat. And pronounce the names correctly to make Soden look like even more of a dumbass. Come on, guys. Jump in. The water's warm. Jump in.
So the Eagles have about 20 seconds left on the timer here. Pick number 20. This is a pretty good roster already. So I'm wondering if this Eagles pick here is probably going to be more depth.
Curtis Weaver, right end. Trying to look this guy up for us here if I have him.
No, I like Curtis Weaver pick. I mean, it's been a couple picks since we've actually even talked about a pick. I like Curtis Weaver. I think he's going to be I think he's going to be a good end. He kind of reminds me of a Carl Lawson, like a poor man's Carl Lawson. A very good 4-3 defensive end.
And his twin brother, Evan Weaver, goes to the Eagles, middle linebacker in California.
And I have to say this, Soden has pronounced 2 names correctly in a row, so that's a winner in its own right.
I've got you. Jared Pinkney, 75 overall, tight end out of Vanderbilt, going to the Patriots.
Like the pick. Everyone's getting... Jared Pinkney was the number 1 tight end in the entire draft, in my opinion. To get him at round 2, pick number 22,
Liked him, yeah.
phenomenal. My favorite draft so far is by T. Hoyt. If he's sober, then it's even more impressive.
Jabari Zunga, right end out of Florida, goes to the Ravens, 71 overall.
Hoyt's the man. Shout out to you, Hoyt.
I have to say, Zunga is he's more of like a 4-3 end. He doesn't have that type of strength to play 3-4, but I do think that he has that pass rushing ability. My only thought is with him is that he doesn't know how to play the run, so he's more of a pass rushing situation guy, but the Baltimore Ravens was in the bottom half of the league in sacks, so that's a good pick.
And another tight end goes off the board here. Tight end out of Memphis, Joey Magnifico.
Magnifico.
69 overall. And no side commentary from Brian this time, so I would say that's probably 6 in a row for the Sode Man.
No, you made a very good enunciation of his name.
Pronunciation.
So, yeah. Magnifico.
And Dante Olson, middle linebacker out of Montana, 68 overall. He is
Montana
Cowboy.
Yeah, I like this pick. I think it's a little early for a guy like him, but I do think that Dallas needed to get more depth at that middle linebacker. If you look at their roster, they didn't have a lot of good backups, so he's going to be really good to back up Sean Lee and those guys.
Yeah, Sean Lee is actually now a Denver Bronco. He was signed in free agency.
Oh, I did not know that. Jalen Collins. So back up to Jalen Collins and Van Escher. What is his name? From Boise?
Van Escher, yeah.
Yeah, so I do like that pick because he's going to be able to back them up. They don't have a lot of needs, so to me it kind of makes sense, to be honest with you.
They're getting depth now.
Yeah,
you can hear the Cowboy fans in the background here. They love that pick.
Yeah, those bandwagon Cowboy fans are everywhere. They will show up at your freaking family reunion, your wedding, whatever, to tell you that they are a Cowboys fan. So they are in full force tonight.
And on the clock right now, Coach, your mom's he has the 25th pick in the second round.
Best names ever.
And, coach like him, he was, just a couple plays away from moving on to the championship game, the conference championship. So to me, this is one of the better offenses in the league. He's already gone defense. I really feel that this Falcons team is just a couple players away from a Super Bowl.
They are. They're an old roster, but they are really reloading and trying to fill that depth at certain positions. So I do like what they're doing. I think that right now they need to go defense, and they do. Defensive tackle.
Yeah, you called it. Defensive tackle out of Georgia, Tyler Clark. Thank you for the help there, Big Al. 73 overall.
Second on my board behind Derek Brown.
I do like this guy.
Second round pick.
Yeah, he's got some strength, and he's definitely a good value pick of where they got him. In my opinion, he's probably the third defensive tackle behind Brown and Davis. He's going to be more of a 4-3 type of tackle. I don't think he has the strength to play that 3-4 nose tackle position, but I do like that pick if they are going to switch to that 4-3, which their picks have kind of alluded to that. So they may be a 4-3 going into next season. And honestly, if you watch the way that your Mazza played, the one weakness he did have was stopping the run. So if you notice his picks, that's what he's been focused on. And I do like what he's doing so far.
Yeah,
he's Miami Dolphins. Type of guy.
Miami Dolphins are on the clock with about 40 seconds. They are at pick number 26. We have 6 more picks before we end the live coverage and go from there. It looks like the Dolphins pick is in. They go defensive tackle out of Purdue, another Boilermaker, Lorenzo Neal, 73 overall.
And I'm ranked 5th on my top 5 So he's the 5th best in my opinion.
Yeah, and that's a
Early second, yeah.
That's a great pick for Mr. Witness, owner who stormed on the scene in Soden Bowl year 1 and made the playoffs. Another guy that was just a few plays away from the Super Bowl. And the Jacksonville Jaguars, Coach
Snuck it
Alpha
in there.
Heel 7, cornerback
Are you kidding me?
Rashad Robinson, 75 overall.
I had my eye on him for a while just because he had C+ zone, C+ man. Not the best press corner, but I feel like he will be a good slot corner going forward. He's got 90 speed, 92 acceleration. But guess what, guys? Guess what his development is?
Star
Development. I cannot believe that I got this guy at this pick. Did I need a cornerback? No. But can I use him? Absolutely.
available. Yeah, position best available right there, definitely. I even said when you picked it, I said, "Are you kidding me?" Like I didn't even know he was still there.
Yeah.
TJ Burton,
the Arizona Cardinals.
Oh, I messed up.
TJ Brunson, middle linebacker out of South Carolina, 67 overall. Yes, you are right, Big Al. It's not as easy as it looks.
You seem a little bit pissy about that.
No, not at all.
I'll leave it to Sean.
The Raiders select Valentino Daltoso, 68 overall, left guard out of California.
I told you so.
Well, let's be honest with you. Their offensive line had ranked in that low 60s the entire year. So why not get a left guard that's going to be 68 overall to go with that average?
Yeah, when you win the Super Bowl, you don't want to break any trends.
That is true. But they did need an offensive line, and I do like his pass blocking ability, so I do feel like he's a guy that can fit into that scheme. If you look at what the Raiders did in the offseason, they got a lot of good free agents boosting that Super Bowl winning team. I do love what Phil has done, and I think he's going to be a force in that AFC West. Hopefully he takes down the Chiefs because I have their next year's first-round pick. So King wants to talk, like after we end this, King wants to talk about the Rookie of the Year. What I would assume defense and offense in both categories. What do you guys think? Can we do that?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think I'm actually the last pick in the second round here. So let me look at what I
we're at pick number 30. Pick number 30 is in. It is Jake Breland, tight end out of Oregon, 68 overall. Up next, we have the Minnesota Vikings with pick number 31, and then the Jacksonville Jaguars with the last
Jake
pick.
Breland, I really like that guy. He didn't have a great overall, but he does have some good attributes to start as a vertical tight end type of player. So while he doesn't have the speed, he kind of reminds me of a poor man's Zach Ertz.
Kind of a Seattle Seahawks special.
Yeah,
Jake Breland.
definitely.
As we wait for the Minnesota Vikings here, they have about a minute 15. Followed by them, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars. After that Jaguars pick, we're going to stop announcing picks, and we're going to talk about the first couple round selections and our predictions for Rookie of the Year. They have about a minute left here for the Minnesota Vikings. This Vikings team, it is a solid defense. They do have some weapons on offense. So it's interesting to see what the Minnesota Vikings can do with the offseason here. They do play in a pretty tough division. And their pick is in. They go left tackle out of Oregon. Calvin Throckmorton, 70 overall.
I did not have him scouted, so I have no idea.
Yeah, he's a big boy. Big boy is going to help shore up that Vikings offensive line. Mr. Swag on you. He does need a little bit of help on that offensive line. That Vikings offensive line was depleted by injuries last year. So that's a good pick for the Vikings. He may start. kind of depends how that preseason goes. In the Jaguars, the last pick of our live draft is Daniel Thomas, strong safety out of Auburn, 76 overall.
Yeah, I almost went with another guy, but I really needed a little bit of safety help. I do like that pick. For me, it was a no-brainer. I did have to kind of get some depth there. He's going to start. He may not start right away, but he is going to be a developmental player that will probably start in the next year or so. So with that said,
that's a solid pick by the Jaguars.
So with that said, let's go to the predictions. The prediction, everyone. Let's talk about offense, defense, rookies of the years, and best picks, by the way. Best value picks. Let's talk about it. What do you guys think? Are you guys ready?
Well, I'll let you go first, Al. I'm still making my scouting here. There is a lot of good players.
So for me, the best pick overall, I
really like the Colts quarterback who the Colts took. I think he's going to be the rookie of the year this year.
Now wait a minute. Are you saying that he's going to be the best value, or do you think he's the best pick?
I think he's going to be the rookie of the year.
Wow. Okay. So Tua Tagovailoa is going to be the absolute rookie of the year, no questions asked.
And only because I extremely butchered his name. Tua Tagovailoa with the 6th pick in the first round. He is my selection for the best value, only because the Colts gave up basically everything for him, so he has to be a value for them. And you're blessed is able to put points up on the board. I think that Colts offense is a good fit for him.
Yeah, for me, as far as offensive play, offensive player of the year, rookie of the year, you know what? I think it's going to be Miles Boykin. I really do. I love that pick, and I love tall receivers that can bring down the ball with good spec catch and catching traffic. I think that he's a great value, but I'm not going to give him the best value pick, but I am going to give him the rookie of the year, offensive rookie of the year in the NFC.
Boykin. Yeah, Boykin is a great selection. You're probably going to be right on that one. He's going to a good team. Big receiver.
What about you, Al?
I think Al is speechless.
That's okay. So if we're going with the offensive rookie of the year, we already got that. What's the defensive rookie of the year? Who do you think is going to defensive rookie of the year?
Defensive rookie of the year is going to go to the New England Patriots, taken in the 2nd round, the number 6 pick, Khalil Hudson, strong safety. I think
you know what's funny? I almost took the cornerback that they took in the 1st round.
I really think going to a T. Hoyt coach team, that strong safety position for him gets a lot of interceptions because being that linebacker underneath, he does a good job of picking up your quick hit route, forcing you to go over the top on him. I think that's going to put Khalil Hudson in a good position to make plays in that Patriots secondary.
Guess who I go with for my defensive rookie of the year? Chase Young.
Who you got?
Right in out of Ohio State to the Miami Dolphins. I think that was the one thing that the Miami Dolphins lacked was a good pass rush in the defense. I watched a lot of their games. I got to call the game against the Colts. And the one thing that they lack was a good pass rush. I think Chase Young is the answer to that prayer. I think that he is going to lead the rookies. I am predicting right now he's going to lead all rookies with sacks. And I think he's going to win the defensive rookie of the year.
And again, going to that AFC East, a playoff coach, a guy that was just a few plays away from a Super Bowl berth, bringing a pass rusher and Chase Young to the Miami Dolphins. I think this is a good pick for you. He is going to get some play time on that Dolphins depth chart.
But guess who was the other guy I was going to pick? Anthony Jennings, another AFC East team. So
not the New England Patriots.
No, but the Jets. Anthony
Really?
Jennings. Oh yeah, I think he is going to have a fantastic year. I think that guys are going to try to run the ball against the Jets, but I think Anthony Jennings has such a good playmaking ability. I love that pick, and in all honesty, I'm not going to give him my defensive player of the year award, but I think it's my best value pick because he should not have fell to the 7th pick. Anthony Jennings is my second best player.
Very good pick for the Jets, and the Jets are looking for those superstar quality players, somebody that can sell some tickets for the Jets. So I think you're right. I think that's a good pick for New York. Shore up that defense, and if you're going to run at them, watch out for Jennings.
I agree. So while we're on this, is there anything else you want to go over? Anything else you want to talk about before we end this live coverage?
Yeah, so I want to take a look at some of these cards that posting. Right now, if you scroll up, I'm actually on Ben Cleveland. Ben Cleveland was drafted by the Cleveland Browns. He's a right guard. He came in at a 73 overall. He has 94 strength, 76 pass block. He does have a 73 run block, so he's a bit of a pass blocker here. So that looks like a very, very good pick for the Cleveland Browns. And then going down the list, we already did T. Higgins. We have the Rams. Rams did their right outside linebacker, Michael Pickney, 68 overall. He is a quick development. He is a pass coverage linebacker, but their scheme is for a speed rusher on that, so I'm not quite sure what they're going to do with Pickney in that situation. Pickney is an 87 speed, 88 acceleration, just an outstanding speed and acceleration combo for a right outside linebacker.
Yeah, I like Pickney. And here's the thing. A lot of times you're going to see these like lower overalls, but with the roster that we use, which was the franchise guy, if you're watching, by the way, thank you, franchise guy. Your rosters are awesome. The overalls don't mean a lot. It really doesn't. It means like you want to look at the type of guys that fit your scheme. So while I saw some like 68, some 66, some of those like lower tier guys that were being drafted early, I'm not going to give them a hard time because I feel like the way that this roster set is, overalls don't mean shit. It really doesn't. You're picking the type of guys that fit your team.
And speaking of some of those guys that are a little on the lower, to me, this one drafted by Triple Aries and the Dallas Cowboys. Middle linebacker Dante Olson, 68 overall. Now, when you see the overall, you think, depth maybe, right? However, this guy possesses 85 speed and 86 acceleration. He's 78 strength, 79 pursuit, and he has 83 hit power. To me, that is a Sean Lee replacement right there.
I believe so, too. That's why I was telling you, don't get hung up on overalls. Think about the guy that fits what you're trying to do. Dallas Cowboys they don't have a lot of needs. They have to fill depth. So just because they picked a guy that was 68 overall doesn't mean that the guy sucks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and we have another one here from rookie head coach King Booker in his Arizona Cardinals. He took another lower overall middle linebacker, 67 overall, TJ Brunson. Brunson has 83 speed, 85 acceleration, so another quick middle linebacker over the middle there. He does possess good hit power at 84 and good tackling at 77. So to me, this is another lower pick that could develop into maybe a Pro Bowl style player.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I do believe that Big Al's back. Al, are you back?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
So, Soden and I gave our
Hello?
Soden and I gave our top rookie and top offensive and defensive rookie of the year. Our predictions. Give us your predictions.
Well, I can't believe that I picked up. I still can't believe I got the guy I got with my pick. Unbelievable. If I wouldn't say him first, as far as Anthony Jennings, left outside linebacker, I'd have to say Jalen Phillips. I mean, he was my number one overall on the board. I'd have to say defensively would be him. It'd be tough for a defensive line, but offensively, I really like Jerry Jeudy. I really like that pick for some reason. I think he's going to be a standout in the league.
And I'm going to go with both your picks. Like, Jennings was like one of the top guys that everybody was like circling around. How can I get him? How can I get him? So I like that. I think he can be a contributor day one. I even like more Jerry Jeudy. I think that guy can be explosive. By far, he was the best wide receiver in this entire draft. I mean, even the guy that I picked that had star development was not even on Jerry Jeudy's level. So I do like both those picks. It's how well these guys utilize these picks. That's what it comes down to. Will they fit their scheme? Will they fit their offense? Will they be able to use them the way that they are meant to be used? That's what it comes down to. Wouldn't you say, Soden?
I do. And another pick that I really liked was the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns took a bit of a reach with center Nick Harris. Harris is only a 72 overall, but when you actually look at his attributes, he's an 89 strength, 76 run block, 74 pass block, all mid to high 70s as far as his blocking attributes go, and he possesses the high motor trait. So to me, I think that is actually a really good pick by the Browns and maybe somebody a lot of people overlooked.
Now, one thing I want to mention, a lot of these guys still don't know about the Soden Bowl marketplace, okay? You had just mentioned attributes. Now, the Bills upgraded a couple attributes, and a couple guys are like, what is this? What are they doing? Why don't you explain to us what the marketplace is and how it can contribute to the owners in Soden Bowl?
So the first thing I'd like to do with the Soden Bowl marketplace, we actually have a very informative video that is on our YouTube channel. You cannot miss it. Or if you're in the chat, if you look under SBSL updates, you will see a link to that video that will walk you through step by step. But in layman's terms, the SB marketplace is a place that we track. We track your activity and your ability to promote our product, the Soden Bowl, Sim League, the Huddle, SBN, all the products that bring this cool stuff to us, the hard work that Alpha does, the hard work that L does, myself, Colids, you name it. A lot of these guys put out some very awesome stuff. And your ability to go out there and promote that and help this league grow, it's our way to track that. And then with the marketplace, it's our way to provide some cool content, some cool traits, abilities that you can unlock for your players by buying this stuff in the marketplace using the points that we track for your activity, otherwise known as Soden Bowl points, SBPs.
Yeah, and that's a good explanation. What we're trying to do, guys, is really, it's not to limit guys or like handcuff them. It's really to benefit the guys that want to be a part of this league, that want to contribute. I know this sounds really cheesy, but I love what Al said earlier. He said, I love that guys are posting pics of their living room. I love that guys are posting pics of their, quotation mark, war room. Guys, this is what we want. I know we're grown men, and this is silly to some people. Dude, my wife knows draft days mean that I'm taking the night off of being a parent and a husband. I come downstairs, I get all this stuff ready, I do all this work with the graphics and everything. So for you to post pics of your living room, wherever you're having your draft, like I'm drinking this, I'm doing this, it really makes me feel good about this. It really does. And the reason why is because I know you guys are taking this seriously. You want to be a part of this community.
Yeah. And this really had to be one of the most active off seasons
absolutely
that I've ever seen.
Absolutely.
I mean, we could not keep up with the stuff that was going on in the league.
Not
the
at
trades,
all.
the re-signings, the content that these owners, Phil with the Raiders putting out some very good content.
Right.
Just
And that's
to
a
name
good
a
point
few.
you bring up too, is that content, like pump that through the Twitter, like take that onto you to shout out your news, your trade. That only helps us out as well. You know what I mean? Don't be afraid
Absolutely.
to start your team Twitter and throw it out there, or if you need help with it, let one of us know. Like,
Yeah, just an outstanding job. And also one of the most successful seasons to date in Soden Bowl history, dating all the way back to 2009. This season, this SBSL season, this season flew by. There was a lot of times with a lot of leagues, start getting into like week 15 and, the teams that are out of it right now, they tend to go a little bit inactive. Not here. These guys,
No.
everybody in the league seemed to look forward to every single game, no matter if they were 1-14 or 1-15 or 6-6. Everybody was just hammering away at it. And it seemed like we had a ton of really, really close games right down to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and one of the things I love about this, the 32 users that we have right now, I know it sound a little bit like I'm stuttering, but seriously, the 32 users that we have right now, I love. I really do. I think that they're great users. And I'm reading the chat. Like, you guys are talking, but I'm reading the chat. Everybody is enjoying the show. And guess what, guys? The reason why we do this show is because of you. That's it.
Exactly.
I don't give a shit about getting monetized. I don't give a shit about, whoever what. I want you guys to enjoy it. I want you guys to watch it. I want you guys to enjoy it, and I want you guys to be inspired by it. You don't have to be inspired to like, oh, I want to start broadcasting or I want to do graphics. I want you to be inspired to like just be a part of the league. That's it. Whether that means announcing a draft pick or announcing a trade or just like, hey, I'm the new coach of this team. We want like an RPG feel. You know what's funny is that Al, Soden, and myself love strategy games. And you know why? Because they have an RPG kind of feel to it. You make your own person and you create your own destiny. And that's what Soden Bowl Sim League does. And that's what you're seeing right now on the screen. You're seeing the graphics, you're seeing all that, but you're seeing guys that want to be a part of this and just immerse themselves into this league. And guess what? 2020, Madden, like the actual Madden 20, oh buddy, it's going to get even more hype than what it is now. If you're a part of this now,
and back to those 32.
Sorry.
Back to those 32 owners. There's actually 64 active owners. Big shout out to everybody who still participates in the league that doesn't actually play in the league. Big Al is an example. Big Al didn't play a single game last season. However, he was one of the most active owners in our chat, website, social media.
No, the most active, like not one of the. Like he didn't even play the game. He was the most active guy in chat. I'm not trying to be cheesy. He was.
And a shout out to all you guys who don't have a. We could do what some of these other leagues do and create a second league or a legacy league or whatever you want to call them, a developmental league. We could do that, but we didn't want to. We wanted to give the league everything we have. And to do that, we needed to be able to fill in for any inactive owners, anybody who violated the rules. And I thought we did a pretty good job of that. It seemed like it was plug and play. Almost in seconds, someone left and we had another guy there waiting, another girl there waiting. It didn't matter. So I just want to give a shout out to everybody in the community. This is really blown up, so to speak. The activity has been phenomenal. Everything from the games played to the Discord server. Shout out to Discord. Twitch games. We had so many games being streamed. You could almost watch football 24/7. It seemed somebody's game was being streamed. And then through the playoffs, that went lightning quick. Outstanding Super Bowl. Great broadcasts. Alpha does a fantastic job producing. and doing the play-by-play. And then Big Al from the sidelines. I mean, a football expert, being able to track down these owners and give us some insight onto what they're looking at. And you go back to that Super Bowl, and man, he called that Super Bowl, that ending. He told us what
Absolutely.
Hoyt was looking for, the adjustment that Hoyt wanted to do, and then Hoyt did it. Then Hoyt came in after the game and told Al, just like I told you at halftime.
I
Al.
told you.
I thought
Yeah,
that was
I
awesome.
love that. And I had to say, before Al chimes in,
That was one of the best. Yeah.
This broadcast team, Soden, myself, and Al, this is my favorite. This is my favorite league that I have ever. No, I'm serious though. Like, this is my favorite league I've ever been in, because we all have the same goal. Now, how to get there, we may have like different paths, but we all have the same goal. Like, we want to do this. We want to get this level. And I just have to say, like, Al wasn't even in the fucking league, and he was like creating content. You have a team,
Yeah,
and
I'd
you
have
weren't
to
doing
say-
shit. Like, Al like stepped way above what he needed to. Like, if you can't give that guy credit for, or the owner of the year, you need to get your head checked. That's all I had to say. Anyway,
to me,
go ahead.
To me, Alpha, your approach to the season was like Ironhead. Remember him? Or Christian Okoye. You just plow through what you want to do and it gets done. I felt like I was maybe more of a Steve Largent, kind of tiptoeing the sideline and getting what needs to be done. And then we had Big Al. To me, Big Al was the Dick Vermeil of the league. Very emotional.
Yeah, man, I put it all into it. That's just how I am. It's how I'm built. I love it, though. I love it.
Yeah, so congratulations, Soden Bowl, on an outstanding season, a fantastic Super Bowl. T. Hoyt, good job.
He's on the clock.
Kilo Ren, outstanding job
Oh, no,
too.
he's not the Raiders no more.
Now, do we want to try to bring anybody in and talk about their picks? Anybody want to jump in?
Yeah, now's your time, guys.
I just want to say one thing real quick. Those that are still in the league that are watching at the end of your draft, when you finish, if you want to take pictures of who you drafted, there's an option to do that, and you only get one shot to do it. But if you want to take pictures of the entire guys that you drafted, I do like to do an after draft type of team rating, but it only helps if you could give me that information.
Now,
It's hard to track that down, but yeah, that would be cool.
Now, Al, is this going to be on the huddle? Is this something that you're looking to put on that show?
You could. I mean, I could. You know me. I always say I'm not going to do something, and then I turn around and do it. But
Fucking Al doesn't know how to do anything like minimum. Like he don't know how to do anything like minimum. Like he goes all out. But you know what? Guess what? That's why we have the no huddle, the fucking unfiltered. That's why we have all these awesome ass shows, because none of us know how to do the minimum. So if you're out there listening right now, and you're like, damn, I love this league, I want to be a part of it, join our Discord. Because guess what? We're going to get you in this league if you're passionate, as we are, about Madden CFM.
Yeah, sodenbowl.com/welcome. That will get you into the Discord server. We have a new show that is untitled so far. It is going to be hosted by Crowdpleaser90. He is looking for a co-host right now. So if you guys want to get in on another show,
points.
Our fourth show in the lineup, even if you're not in the league, you want to get in on something like that, you want to get your name out there, get some views on YouTube, give us a line, guys. Shoot me an email, jump in our Discord server, send me a Twitter message. I don't care. Show up on my doorstep, knock on my door. We'll find a place for you. Yeah, it looks like we're closing out the third round here. We'll be moving into the fourth round, so this draft's moving along pretty smooth here.
Yeah. When do you pick?
My next pick is round 5, pick number 18. The Denver Broncos like to trade away all their picks because they hold the keys.
Commissioners do.
Well, they hold the keys to the custom draft class, so best to let those picks go out there where other.
That's an honest thing to do. Very honest. Thank you, Alpha, earlier for the kind words, by the way. Appreciate that. I don't do what I do unless it's not without you two or the rest of these guys. So I appreciate everyone who tuned in and watched it. Means a lot.
Yeah, the Huddle is our most watched show.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna put
took
one out
down-
Wednesday.
Yeah, it took down SBN, our nightly Thursday night show where we interview developers and pro gamers and companies and Hall of Fame players.
So
and Big Al took it down with the Huddle.
Tell us about our next broadcast. What are we going to talk about?
So our next SBN broadcast is going to be this Thursday night. We're actually going to sit down and talk with Crowd Pleaser 90 about his new show, and he's going to unveil his new show on Thursday night SBN.
What about
after that?
What about the show about the rules and stuff, like us going over all that?
So that will be an SBN broadcast, but that's going to be, it's not, I don't know if we're going to necessarily do it on Thursday night. We might do it sooner. It kind of depends on Mr. Mr. Witness can get in on it too, but it kind of depends on Alpha, myself, and then we have to get
Controller disconnect.
Reverse Live. Sorry, we have to get Reverse Live into it, and he is our enforcer. So those of you guys that don't know,
to the Packer or Seahawks, Jesus.
Yeah,
Reverse Live is a dog. That dude, I love having him as our gameplay enforcer. That dude is a dog.
Yeah, so his nickname is the Hammer. I just gave that to him. He is going to have a golden hammer next to his name from now on.
I thought it was. I thought his nickname was "I'll shit on you." Is that on his nickname?
But I am going to put this out there. Do not direct message. Do not direct message staff members anymore. We have a support ticket button. Push the dang button and fill out the questionnaire.
What the hell is a button?
On site.
You can look it up in the dictionary.
Sorry, I'm making a drink, so go ahead.
So under the SBSL menu on our website, if you do not know how to get there, then don't bother filing a support ticket. Do not bother being in the league. But I'm confident the other 31 owners here, they have no problem with any of that because these guys are so active, I can't even keep up with them. So push that support button if you have a problem and fill out the application, and that will go to Reverse Live, and he will deal with it in a timely manner. He will be knocking down the commissioner's doors with his findings with proof. Now, if you don't have any proof and it's your word versus his word, don't use the support ticket system. Give them a grade. Rate your player. You guys should all be rating your players after every game. Again, in the menu, SB feedback. Click that button and give him a rating and leave him a nasty little comment in there, and we will deal with it accordingly.
I'm excited to be a part of that, to speak on that a little bit, because I've been from the outside looking in for a while. I got here, week 4 or 5 of season 1. I was a little late to the gate, so to speak, but I'm here. So I'm excited to start rating these guys and giving them some ratings and getting some ratings and stuff. So can't wait. First season officially on the ready.
There's a lot to do, and rules-wise, we are a 72-hour advanced league. However, it is very rare that we actually make it the 72 hours. I think the only time we really did was on Easter Sunday weekend. Everything else seems to fall in the 42 to 48 hour range. So, outstanding job getting those games in, guys. But I guess where I was going with that is there is a lot of stuff to do inside the league from the time you play your game to the time you're waiting for advance. You can rate your players, you can write about your game, you can submit virtually anything. You can comment on some of the videos that we put out. Twitter, Facebook, whatever you want to do, you can do it.
Yeah,
your marketplace items, you can upgrade players.
Do we have a Soda Bowl Facebook page?
We do.
For Sim League?
For Soda Bowl in general.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, it's under Girls Gone Wild, but yeah, it's there. You just have to type that.
Well, I wish it was that popular.
Remember that? That was. God, it was
so yeah,
famous.
I mean, this has been fun for me. Like I said, now we're getting into the 60s and shit, but man,
Yeah.
I've had so much fun drafting my
Got the
team.
you're too loud.
Talking to
No,
all you guys. It's been a great time.
always is.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so I guess this just about closes it here. We are on 4th round. Anything you guys?
Everybody's
You cut
talking
out
shit.
there on me.
Everybody's yeah. Before I leave, swing your mom's whatever you guys talking shit in the chat. Actually, Lily here with us. Colts is really stoked about Tua Tagovailoa, man. He's really stoked about that. So I like he's going to be my guy to watch this year. I feel like our first or second game we need to do a Colts game because like that he's like super stoked about that guy. And to be honest with you, what a storyline! You lose Andrew Luck for half the year. You go down blazing, and then you trade up. Like makes two trades.
Peyton Manning.
He makes 2 trades to get up into the top 10 to grab his guy.
Well, think of the Colts in real life with Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning gets hurt. They tank that season. And then they draft themselves Andrew Luck.
What your blessed did,
Peyton Manning off to Denver.
What your blessed did was absolutely amazing. I mean, what he did in getting the value for Andrew Luck, stacking his picks, that to me was the move of the night. Like him moving up to get his guy. Didn't even have to move up from 6, right? Because we all knew Fromm was going to go in the top 3 because that dude was like the number 1 prospect total. But he didn't even have to move from 6 and was still able to get the guy that he wanted. That to me was just like sitting there and waiting for things that like what you wanted to happen. I love it. What about you guys? What was the move in the night for you, Sid?
I really enjoyed the Colts moves. Picking up that quarterback. I think that was the franchise move for the Indianapolis Colts. And also the Houston Texans. He really was looking to this team. And he has, 3 or 4 picks in the first round here. So he has a great opportunity to really kind of resculpt this Houston Texans team.
I do. I think he's going to jump into the chat here in a second, so let's not jump off too soon. I think he wants.
Yeah, the Houston Texans had 3 picks in the first round. They drafted in the 3rd spot, then they drafted again in the 5th spot, and then again 22nd.
Yeah. I really like what he did. For me, Derek Brown was one of the top prospects in the entire draft. He sat there and let him fall to him. I mean, and I don't like that because I play this guy twice. But I have to respect the game. And then the middle linebacker, the number 1 middle linebacker, grabs him. This defense is going to be so much better than it was last year. Their problem wasn't offense, it was defense. They couldn't stop anything. And look at their top 3 picks. Now they've gotten a team. I love what they did.
Yeah. Solid moves.
What about you, Al?
Before Al gives his response, I would like to point out in the chat that Reverse Live has been awarded his Golden Hammer.
See that.
Congrats, Reverse Live.
What are we talking about as far as the best pick of the night?
Your favorite moment. What was your favorite moment in the entire draft?
Oh, my favorite moment in the entire draft. I mean, without I don't know, being selfish or anything, but I don't know how you guys allowed Jennings to fall to 7, but that would probably be the highlight of my night.
And this coming out of Indianapolis on Twitter, the Colts tweeting, quote, in Indy, Peyton, Andrew, and now Tua, a new face. The hope is that he will keep the winning going in Indy. The Colts do not want to part with Luck, but it appears injuries have caught up to the signal caller. Him being lost twice last season, really?
Soden, we had talked about this earlier. This was the big story for me, is not only that one pick of trading luck away, but packaging the picks that you have and moving up to get your guy. To me, it was a phenomenal move. Like your Bless knew what he was doing.
Right.
He was grabbing the guy that he wanted all along, and he knew that he stayed at 20 or whatever his pick was. He wasn't going to get him. He had a package of picks, and the Patriots was like, you know what? I don't need a quarterback. I'll stay with what I have. I'll move.
Where did he
down.
pick him at? 6?
Number 6, yes.
Yeah, but he packaged
Yeah,
the
right
picks.
before me.
He
Patriots
did. He
picked
went
up
out
2
and got
first
the
picks.
Chicago Bears. Yeah, he went out and got the Chicago Bears number 19,
Right.
and then turned around and traded number 19 and his one to the New England Patriots for their number 6. Leapfrogged, a whole bunch of teams to pick up Tua.
And what about the
Yeah.
Giants?
I don't think
Nope.
anyone was looking more for a quarterback in the top 5.
But here's the thing: the Giants
I did it.
made it look like they were going to go edge rusher.
Yeah.
Everyone thought.
I
Giants,
called it.
Everyone
Pep
called
went
it.
quarterback.
You did call it, but everyone thought they are making a trade so that they can go up and get their guy as an edge rusher. They said, we will roll with Teddy Bridgewater. And what did Al say? Al said, nope, they're going up to get their quarterback. And, Fromm was the best
Said it in
quarterback
chat earlier.
prospect. He was. So
Yeah.
to get that guy.
He was my number 1, I believe, on my board.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I really thought they were going to go edge rusher with them wanting to deal Vernon. But again, they had
It's
good
all
reason
the
to
smoke.
move up.
It's smoke.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they leapfrogged the Cleveland Browns, who rumor on the street was the Cleveland Browns were back too.
Now, let me ask you this. If Fromm would have been passed up, because they had been shopping Baker Mayfield, like I saw it, would they have drafted
I don't
Fromm?
get that.
I know, but would they have drafted Fromm if
2?
he would have dropped to them?
If the Giants don't move to 1, yes.
No. Even if the Giants moved to
oh.
1, if Fromm would have fell to 2, do they pick him?
Oh. I would say, I think they would, because if they're shopping here, now they have a reason to push him out.
Yeah, I
But,
think you're right.
or, why would you keep those 2 guys there,
I think they
I
wanted.
mean, if you're,
like,
unless it's just like to see what they can get at the last minute, because he really wanted picks. He wanted picks like all day.
No, he wanted to move down. You're right. He did.
He was the only one who wanted the draft, apparently. Like, he's like, I'll take your 2nd, I'll take your 3rd, I'll take your 4th, I'll take your 7th in Madden 20. I don't care. I'll take them all. He said it.
Yeah. No, I know.
He's looking to trade picks for next cycle already. I mean,
No, I agree. I guess I'm thinking myself, because everybody, like, when I interviewed these owners, I'm like, what do you need? What do you want? What do you, like, I really thought there's going to be a drop of quarterbacks, but I didn't think it was going to be one. I didn't think it was going to be one. I thought 1 and 2 would be edge rushers, and I thought maybe 3 through 10 would be 3 quarterbacks. That's what I thought.
I think, what did we have here? We had 16 guys who I think filled out needs.
And I don't think you could shit on the Montez pick. I know guys are like 66 overall. This guy sucks. Whatever. But dude,
Giants and Colts.
he was the best quarterback after the top 3, and he didn't have that pick to go up and grab one of those guys. So I don't.
Did anyone
the
take?
pick.
Eason?
Huh?
Where did he go? Eason. Where did
Yeah.
he go?
Eason was like
Tony Eason's kid.
He was Jacob Eason was a in the first round, I believe. He was like the last pick or close to it. What, didn't the Raiders pick him?
I didn't pick him.
No, Raiders.
Did anyone take Mackenzie Milton? I wanted to see what he looked
No,
like. I
Milton
had him
didn't
on
get
my
picked yet, but it was Eason and Montez.
board. Really?
Both of those guys got picked in the first and second round, And guess what? I don't
Be honest too.
but I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I don't give a shit about their overall. I care about
I
the
never
needs.
do.
The Saints got Montez, I believe. But I like the pick because they didn't have to spend their first on it. They spent their second round on it.
I like when I do my scouting, it's prior to the combine, obviously, and we all know how quick these drafts go from the time you could see the numbers to the time you draft, and it's hard to enter all that data. But
Absolutely.
I like looking at, you said, is like the type of player it is, does it fit my scheme, and what are their grades? That's what I look at.
Yeah, I agree.
It's kind of all I have time to look at.
So you've been quiet, man. Are you like just sucking it all in or what?
No, I actually just awarded T. Hoyt the emoji crown.
Wow, dude. That's a special word.
Did you put the Super Bowl next to his name? Super Bowl trophy?
No, it's literally a crown because emojis are very basic.
That's all
Oh.
Sid can afford is a basic emoji.
Yeah, that's it.
That's poor man.
NFL. Well, gentlemen,
Yeah,
shall
but
we
I
call
was
this a
gonna say,
night
like-
here?
Yeah, this has been a great night, man. I'm ready to call this. It's
Yeah.
like going on 10 o'clock. We've been on here for 2 hours. Guys, I mean, this has been
That's
fun.
about right.
Soden's controller disconnected. I mean, we are live.
I saw that.
This is great. But
I think
honestly,
I called it out.
I really think that you guys have done a great job tonight.
I agree, man. Always, Alpha, great job. Sean, always great job. I have fun doing this with you two
Well,
guys.
not Sean,
anytime.
not always, but sometimes. Great job, Sean.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess.
I'll work on my pronunciations for next year's.
I only have to give
can
him
you
credit
get at
'cause
least
his
like
name's on the
a
building.
third of the guys right?
Yeah, I have
Steve-
Hooked on Phonics lined up.
Steve
It'll be
Smith.
here tomorrow.
You're like, this is Stefan Smoothe. I'm just
Tom
kidding.
Brady.
By the way, if you're just tuning in, we all bust each other's chops. It's just part of the game. We're having fun, but in all seriousness, we are about to get out of here. Any last words for either one of you?
Yes, we did
Thank
a
you.
complete draft show, and the Denver Broncos have not yet selected anyone.
What happened?
Wonderful
What the hell
thing.
did you do? Did you trade everybody?
I traded everyone.
Wow. What about you, Al? Any last words?
Just want to pay some bills. Shout out to Allied Plumbing and Heat, veteran owned and operated, a name you can trust. If you're in the Colorado Springs area, give them a call.
Great line.
Go
I like
Allied.
it. Anyway, we are out. Thanks for watching, everyone. We had a great night. We had a ton of viewers. Again, thanks. I'm speechless. I think the participation with everybody drafting and it's all like I'm just like speechless. I think it's great. Anyway,
Love
thanks,
the slides,
guys.
man. That was
Definitely
great.
love it. You guys have a great night.
Yeah. Take care.